Apologies, I was actually muted. I just found out. My apologies. All right, guys. Well, let's dive in. I'm just calling out people that are actually here from different cities, different states before we dive into the content for today. I want to make sure that we let people in. I know that some people show up late to webinars, so I've got Michael from Abilene, Texas. I've got Sarah from Miami, Florida. I've got David from Phoenix, Arizona. I've got Jessica from Anaheim, California. I've got Chris from Tacoma, Washington. I've got Amanda from Memphis, Tennessee. Let me see here. Looks like I got some other people too chiming in. I've got Ryan. Ryan, he is from, oh, he's in here in New York. That's amazing. And then Lauren from Boston, Massachusetts. Marcus, he's coming from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Wow, that's okay. It's unique. And then Macy. Macy is here from Portland, Oregon. So awesome. We've got some great people here from all sorts of different places. So, okay, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into today's content. And we got someone else chiming in. We got Joe from Phoenix. Good to see you, Joe. I love Phoenix. It's where I'm from. So love it. Okay, guys. Well, if you haven't chimed in yet, let me know what city, what state you're joining me from. I'm going to go ahead and share the webinar. Let me know when you can see the webinar on screen, and then we'll dive into today's content. All right, here we go. Okay, give me a thumbs up that you can see my screen. I want to make sure everybody can see the presentation, so just give me a thumbs up real quick before we dive in, and then I'll go ahead and get started here. All right, thumbs up, awesome, thank you. Another thumbs up, good, okay, great, okay, we got enough, we're good, okay. All right, guys, so in today's webinar, you're going to discover how to buy a cash flowing online business in the next few months without starting from scratch or risking your life savings, okay? So welcome to today's webinar. I'm glad that you're here. Now, before we begin, I want you to shut down any distractions, turn off your phone notifications, maybe even just push your phone away, put it face down, ignore it. I know that we all have that ADD when it comes to our phone, and we're constantly wanting to check it. But right now, focus on this. Also, close any extra browser tabs. Really focus in on this. This way you don't miss a single second of today's webinar, which could be life-changing by the time we're done. Also, give me your full attention up to the next 90 minutes. It shouldn't take 90 minutes. It should take maybe 60 to 75 minutes with Q&A at the end. But I want to make sure that you're here for the entire webinar. You don't miss a thing, okay? And this is what you'll be shown today. So you'll be shown how to buy a cash flowing online business, even with no experience, limited capital, and no deal pipeline. This will take you from 0 deals, no experience, to owning a cash flowing online business in 4 months or less. No experience is needed. Creative financing is available, so you can buy a business with little to no money out of your own pocket. And also, you're going to be learning about a proven evaluation framework. And this is based on real proof, okay? So these are screenshots that show our portfolio at ARM5 Formula Company, which is a 2-time Inc. 5000 company. We've done over 30 million in online sales since 2022. We've been behind 100 million in online sales since 2013. So we've been buying businesses over the last 4.5 years. These are our businesses that we purchased. And these are just some of the businesses we purchased. We've actually purchased 4 times as many businesses since 2022. These are just some of the businesses. So this way you can see that we're actively doing the things that we're going to dive into today, okay? So the proof is real. We've got screenshots, we've got revenue, we've got real deals we've done, and we've also achieved real results. And I want you to imagine, like, what could happen to your portfolio if you had the exact same system that I use, but simplified and structured so anyone can follow it. So stay until the end, because I've got something special that's going to make this even easier for you. So if you are here and you're here live, you made the right decision, okay? So type in the chat, let's go, if you're ready to dive into the rest of the content, you're excited about, the opportunity at buying an online business and what it can do for you, whether it's to give you an additional income on top of the one you have, or whether it's to help you escape the rat race and be a business owner and have something that you have control over instead of someone else controlling your income and your life and your time. Or, maybe you're just an investor making moves. Maybe you're a retiree looking for an additional income source. If any of that's you, then go ahead and type in "let's go" in the comments. Okay. All right. So who is Josh Marsden? So I'm the owner of ARM5 Formula Company, which, as I mentioned before, is a 2-time Inc. 5000 company. I've been in e-commerce since early 2013. I've literally helped thousands of e-com companies scale and grow through online events, coaching, and also client services. In 2022, we started buying businesses. We stopped selling services in late 2021, and we started to buy businesses. We learned a lot in the process. We made some mistakes in the first maybe 12, 18 months. But since then, we've bought good business after good business after good business, and we've really refined our process. So you're coming into this learning from us and really mitigating the risk and making sure that you're following a process that reduces the risk, maximizes the upside, and sets you up for success. That's what you're getting by being here and learning from us and our experience, because we've made all the mistakes for you. You don't have to make them. You can go make them if you want, but that's going to be very costly, stressful, and time-consuming, and frustrating for that matter. But by being here, you're skipping all of that. So you made a smart decision to be here. Since 2022, we've had 22 online businesses acquired. And these are brands. These are online businesses selling direct to consumer, Shopify businesses, Amazon, direct to consumer brands. And online businesses are the way to go, and you'll know why by the end of the webinar today. We've also had over 30 million in online sales since 2022. This is not revenue for clients. This is not managed ad spend. This is our own portfolio. This is our own online sales. We've also raised over 8.2 million in that time frame as well. So we've successfully raised capital to acquire and also scale online businesses. And like I mentioned before, we've been nominated twice now as an Inc. 5000 company. So we're one of the fastest growing companies in America. But here's what matters most. It's not just about my results and my company's results. It's about whether this system works for other people too. See, multiple students have closed deals working with us. We started this about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago now. And we just saw the opportunity to take our process and everything we've learned and create more impact and help others be able to follow in our footsteps and be able to buy online businesses. This way they can acquire income. This way they can acquire an asset that can grow and multiply and can really help them with their financial goals. Whether it's to build a stronger nest egg or whether it's just to create wealth and take that wealth and create more wealth with it. Either way, we decided a little bit over a year ago that we had a lot of value here we could provide, and so we started doing it. And since then, we've had multiple students, multiple clients come through our program and have success. And you're about to hear from some of these people here in a minute. So it's not about me being special. It's about the system, the process being special. And today I'm going to hand you that system. So it proves that this isn't about me being special. It's about the system being special. Okay. So let's dive into some real student results. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share some videos here. Let me switch screens here. There we go.
Hi, I'm Jason Decker, and I am the owner of This Silly Girl's Kitchen, where I got the help from Team ARM5, and I am incredibly grateful I did. I was your typical rat race guy working in automotive for 26 years, a couple days off a month, not spending time with family. Every story you can dream up was pretty much the life I was living. And I just decided there had to be another way. So with the team at ARM5's help, I was able to buy my first business. And it literally took 4 months for when I started till me finalizing the documents on my asset purchase order. And I'll tell you this, I got a Harvard education on what it takes to buy a business. I got a Harvard education on the legalese, and it's a lot of work. So if you don't plan to do work and you think it's just a layup, well, that's not it. But the good part is you have the freedom over your time and your success. And that's what this system helped provide me with. I did the work, and am doing the work and will continue to do the work because I want the company to have massive success. But at the end of the day, I really have to thank the guys from ARM5 because they helped me out tremendously. They held my hand along the way, which is exactly what I needed. And I'm grateful I made the decision I did to join ARM5. So thanks, Josh, and especially thanks to Jeff because he was absolutely outstanding, holding my hand through this, teaching me as much as he did. He was not only has become a friend, he's become a mentor, and I am incredibly blessed to have both Josh and Jeff in my life. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Doug Patrol, and I want to talk to you about why I joined the ARM5 Formula Acquisition Program. One of the biggest reasons I joined the ARM5 Formula is that I work a normal 9-to-5 job. I go to work, I come home, I pay my bills, and I find that at the end of the week, most of the money that I've made at work goes out to spending bills like everyone else does, going to the same program. And like everybody else, it's a grind that everyone has to go through. Another reasons why I joined is because I always wanted to buy my own business. I always wanted to be able to do that, but I lacked the knowledge or the funds to be able to do that. Now granted, I joined this ARM5 Formula program with zero money to be able to do anything, to be able to buy a business, to have nothing. I just took very little of what I had and I bought into this program. And since then, I've joined, I have learned the knowledge of what it means to how to look at a company, how the questions to ask, and what to look for in a e-commerce business. And I have learned that joining the ARM5 Formula, and Josh and his team have taught me this. Since then, I am at the process of buying my very first business. And the business is making over $1.2 million a year, averaging over $100,000 a month, and making $20,000 net profit. And guess what? I had put in zero money of my money into this acquisition. And that is what Josh and his team have taught me and given me the confidence in the future. And since then, I am looking forward to a more brighter future for myself and for my family in order to be able to do the things that I want. And it's all about because of what I am doing now, joining this program. So I hope that you will take the chance that, like I did, to join this program and to learn from Josh and his team. And one day you will be able to buy your own business and learn what it means to be an entrepreneur. Everybody, you have yourself a great day, and I hope you join this program, and I'll be seeing you guys around. God bless. Bye.
All right, guys. So you just heard from two of our clients. We've got other clients too that have had success. You've heard from guys too that have no background in e-com, no background buying a business. Also, Dirk, as he mentioned, he bought a business with no money out of his own pocket. So if they can do it, you can do it. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's dive back in here. All right. So now you don't even have to take just my word for it. You could take their word for it. You just heard from real people that have real stories of success in our programs. And these are people, like I said, that have had no background buying a business. Okay. And as we dive into this slide and the next slide, these slides kind of go over what some of the outcome possibilities are. And this is like the average outcome. These are two different kind of examples here. So this way you can envision what is going to happen here, when you go down this process. All right. So this is a conservative ROI breakdown. This is a conservative example for a first-time acquirer in the ARM5 Formula acquisition method. So for example, let's just say that you see a business that's $150,000. That's how much it's priced at. This is a company that's doing $50,000 a month in revenue, $15,000 a month in profit. Okay, so that's $180,000 a year in profit. Now, this type of business with our process and our system you'll be able to buy it with 0 to 30,000 down max. It's 20% max down. Okay. But there's a strong likelihood you can get this for no money out of your own pocket. Okay. So we just don't know because it's dynamic. Every deal is a little different. There's different motivations for selling. You have to, be able to create leverage in the deal. You have to be able to pitch the deal successfully. We help you do all that stuff. Okay. And then after you buy the business, now you have a business that is netting you as an owner $10,000 to $15,000, and that's after all expenses. That's your income every single month in this example. And this is an average first-time acquirer, like a low ball example. Okay. Now you have a business that is doing $180,000 a month in profit, and that's more than most jobs out there. Okay, so more than pretty much everybody out there in general working. Most people don't even make 6 figures a year. This gives you a business that makes you $180,000 per year out of the profits. Now, let's just say that we continue to work with you because you have that option. You have that opportunity to continue to lean on us. And we've got the background in e-commerce. We've done over 100 million in online sales since 2013. We've helped thousands of e-com companies through online events, coaching, and client services. We work with you after you buy the business to help you scale it, help you grow it. And let's just say that we help you double it. Now it's doing $30,000 a month in profit. That's $360,000 a year in profit. We also help you really work on the business and prep it for a sale by adding characteristics to the business that increase the multiple that you get. So now you're getting a 3.5x multiple when you go to sell it. So 3.5 times 360,000, that's 1.26 million. Now you have an asset, you have a business that's worth 1.26 million. Okay. And our program, it costs a fraction versus the alternatives out there while providing superior potential returns, as you can see just from this conservative ROI breakdown. Now, this is a more realistic ROI breakdown because that's a very small business. But let's just say like you acquire this business. This business is $425,000. This is a company that's doing $100,000 a month in revenue and $25,000 a month in profit. And by the way, this is actually based on Dirk that you just heard. Okay, so this is pulled directly from that example. So this business would require you anywhere between 0 to 42,500 down. And this can be through partner financing, a cash down, seller financing, or an earnout on top of all that. And the monthly profit after acquisition, it's going to be about 20,000 to 25,000. Okay, so now you're getting a lot more than that first example. Now you're earning 240,000 plus per year as an owner of this business. And this is a business that's doing 300,000 in annual profit. And again, that's more than just about every profession out there. There's very little professions out there that make more than 300,000 a year. And this is a company that's producing that in profit every single year. And then, like I said before, we continue to work with you. We help you grow. We help you double it. Now it's a business that is doing 50,000 a month in profit. And we also help you unlock more value in the business. We help you really set it up for a exit in the future. And so we get it to a strong multiple. And if we take that same multiple, 3.5x, we times it by the annual profit of 600,000 after we've helped you double it. Now you have a business that's worth 2.1 million. Okay, so it gives you kind of like a range for a first-time acquirer. If you have no background, this is what you can expect going through the program and succeeding in the program, which again takes 4 months or less. Okay, and this is a big opportunity right now. We've got over 1 million boomer-owned businesses expected to sell by 2035. 48% of boomer owners plan to exit within 3 years. There's 10 trillion in private business assets coming to market. If you don't know this already, this is known as the silver tsunami. So there's a big, big, big opportunity right now for everybody here. Okay. And as I mentioned before, we buy online brands. We've been doing that over the last 4.5 years now. Shopify, Amazon, direct-to-consumer brands. These are all acquired using the exact same 5-step system that I'm about to share with you today. And each business too was acquired with creative financing. Like the last business we purchased was doing over 5 million a year in sales, and we only put 212,000 down. Okay. Now I know that's a bigger example. We've got other examples where we bought a business that was 120,000. This is like an early purchase. We put no money out of our own pocket on day one to buy the business, and it was purely bought on seller financing. Okay, so that gives you another example. So we've done this over and over and over since 2022, and we've always used creative financing. And most of these deals that we've done have required little to no money out of our own pocket. And all were also managed with lean teams and also proven systems. So these aren't outliers that you've gone over today with Dirk, with Jason, and all these other clients and all these other deals that we've gone over. These are normal people who followed the system and got results. Every single one started exactly where you are right now. So who is this for? Okay, who is this process for? Who is this opportunity for? This is for professionals and career changers. You want to own a cash flowing online business without years of trial and error, and you're ready for a new path. And I've been there because I broke out of corporate back in early 2013. I left it, said goodbye, never looked back, and the rest is history. You can do the same, okay? Or this is for an investor that's seeking better returns. Typically, an investor is investing quite a bit in the stock market, real estate, and stock market gets you on average about 7 to 9% annual returns if you're doing it right. Real estate gets you about 8 to 9% in annual returns. And with a private equity investment, with a business investment, you have the potential to earn 30 to 50% annual returns. That's huge. That can make a massive impact to your goals as an investor. Or you're an entrepreneur who just wants to skip the startup phase. And I don't blame you, because the startup phase is brutal, it's challenging, it's frustrating. There's definitely some joy in it too if you enjoy the pain, which I do, that's why I'm laughing. But at the same time, there's a lot of difficulty, there's a high degree of stress along the way, there's a lot of pressure, and on top of that, there's a massive failure rate for startups. And you could skip all that. So with this too, you can, instead of spending 2 to 3 years building something from scratch, you could buy something that already works, step into success on day one, and then you can make it into an even bigger success. Okay, this is also for coachable action takers. You have capital to deploy or are willing to explore creative financing, and you're ready to follow a proven process. Now, this is not for everyone though, okay? I want to be clear on that. This is not for get-rich-quick seekers. So if you're looking for overnight money with zero effort, this isn't it. Buying a business is real work, okay? You're not willing to do due diligence. So you're not willing to, vet the business. You're not willing to ask all the questions, to look through all the reports, the financial reports, the vetting questionnaires, spend time with the owner, the seller, the broker. If you're not willing to do due diligence, then this is not for you. Because if you're not willing to invest time in learning and evaluating deals, this won't help you. You want passive income with zero involvement, okay? If you just want to flip businesses with zero involvement or aren't willing to follow a systematic process, this isn't for you either, okay? Now, raise your hand, though, if that's you. If you're one of the people that I called on here during this segment, raise your hand here in the comments if this is you, okay? All right, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, cool. Okay, let's keep going here. All right. Okay, so here's your commitment today, okay? I need 3 things from you before we go any further. Number 1, keep an open mind. Some of this might seem too good to be true, like creative financing, buying with little to no money down, but trust the process until you see the math, okay? So because this is something that is true. It's not too good to be true. It is true. We've been doing it over the last 4.5 years. We've helped others do it too, and we can help you do it too. But if you don't have experience in, this, then it may seem too good to be true. And so you have to have faith that this is true. And if you have faith, I guarantee you that this is true, okay? Be ready to take action. Now, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, okay? The difference between success and failure is speed of implementation. It's taking massive action, okay? You only get to your goal, whatever you want for yourself, if you take action. If you just think about it, research it, dream about it, it's not going to happen. You have to take steps towards it, and you have to put the work in, whatever degree that may be, okay? And then number 3, be open to getting help. If what I show you makes sense, be open to investing in yourself. I'll share how you can work with me and my company, my team directly, okay? So type yes in the comments. if you commit to these 3 commitments, okay? So thank you, appreciate it. Dendon for the comment, appreciate that. David, thank you so much, appreciate it. Awesome. Oh yeah, this is great. Joe, thank you so much. Keep it coming. All right, guys, love it, love it. Michael, thank you, thank you. Jessica, appreciate it. Chris, okay, good. Okay, awesome, guys. All right, let's keep going here. Okay, all right, let's get real. You might be thinking, Josh, you've bought 20 plus businesses and have done over 30 million in online sales since 2022. You must be some kind of genius. Okay, I'm not. Okay, I'm a normal guy. I literally did not come from money. I grew up a military brat, and if you know anything about the military and being enlisted, you don't make a lot of money. They do take care of you. They do give you housing. They give you a food allowance. They give you access to a dining facility for free meals 3 times a day. But you don't make a lot of money in the military. So I did not come from a lot of money, and that's my background. But the reason why it worked is because I had a willingness to learn and to take action, and that's what I've done every step of the way throughout my entire entrepreneur journey. In my first business purchase, it wasn't glamorous. I made mistakes, as I alluded to during today's presentation. I overpaid even for some other business purchases that I haven't mentioned. I didn't know what due diligence really meant when I first dove in. But the thing is that I dove in, I took action. And when you take action, you fail forward and you learn, and then you apply those lessons. Okay. And that's why I said earlier that you have the benefit of learning from me and coming into this at this point in our journey versus much earlier in our journey when we were not ready to help people like you be able to follow our now proven process to buy online, established, successful, profitable, cash flowing online businesses. Because once I found this right process, once we went through like the journey of buying our early, first businesses over the first 12 months or so, we really developed a systematic approach to evaluating and financing and transitioning these businesses into our portfolio. And that first painful experience and literally led to a repeatable system. Okay. And then we did it again and again and again. And, look, the proof's in the pudding. All right. We've had 22 business purchases that we've made or we've helped people make. We've had over 30 million in online sales, all from 2022 on. And we've also made the Inc. 5000 twice over the last 2 years. So there you go. So I didn't have any advantages you don't have. In fact, you, as I mentioned, you have a massive advantage because you have me and you have my team and our system and our process. And we've already been past the mistakes. So you don't have to make those same mistakes on your journey to buy a business. Instead, you can go into a system and a process that's proven that mitigates and minimizes risk and mistakes and maximizes your opportunity and maximizes your return. Okay. So success in business acquisition is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about having the right system, the right support network, and people that have done what you're trying to do to help you and taking action fast. Okay. So that's why you are smart. You should be patting yourself on the back for being here. Okay. So here's the big picture. Let's start with the full map. I want you to see the big picture before we zoom into each piece. So here's what ARM5 actually stands for. So ARM is the marketing engine that makes these businesses valuable. And then the 5 stands for our 5 profit amplifiers, which are the levers that you pull post-acquisition to multiply growth. Okay. So A stands for authority. You're buying a business that already has trust and credibility in a market. R is reciprocity. The audience already wants to buy. There's goodwill there. M, monetization. The revenue engine is already running. And then the 5 profit amplifiers are authority engine, trust, persuasion, the testing matrix, and also monetization. Okay. And then the ARM5 acquisition method, which is our system for buying businesses consistently with creative financing, with shared risk deal terms, with little to no money down. That's what this is. These are the steps in the acquisition method. Number 1 is evaluate. Find deals worth buying using proven criteria. Okay. Now, this isn't about finding the needle in a haystack. There's not going to be a perfect business. This is about finding a good business and a business that has upside, and about mitigating and minimizing the risk in the business purchase. Okay. Number two, finance. Structure creative deals with little to no money down. Okay. We always are doing creative financing deals. We're not talking SBA loans either. We're talking creative financing deals, and I'll dive into that during today's presentation. Number three, transition. Okay? Take ownership without disrupting the business. It's super important that when you buy a business that you make no changes. No changes within the first 2 to 3 months. Okay? This way it's a smooth transition and everything is successful right away and nothing changes in those first few sensitive months. Okay? Then, number four, optimize. This is where you apply the 5 profit amplifiers to grow value, to turn this into an even bigger business and also an even bigger win for you as an owner. Okay. And then number 5 is scale. Build a portfolio of cash flowing assets. You have one business and you've taken it over and you transition it into it successfully and you've also grown it. Well, go repeat the process. That's what you have access to this. Go do it again and again if you want. We've done it. We can advise you on it. Okay. And this is a counterintuitive approach because most people, they think that you need years of experience, millions in capital, and a huge network. Okay. There's a lot of myths out there, and these myths are going to be busted today. If you have this myth in your head, say goodbye to it. Okay. Let it go. Put it behind you, because from this point forward, I want you to have a different mindset, a different approach on buying a business, owning a business, and growing a business, okay? Because the truth is that you just need a proven system, the right guidance, and the willingness to take action. So here's what makes this different. Most programs, they teach theory, and I give you a proven system with expert level support every step of the way to ensure success, okay? So other approaches out there, they hand you a book about mergers and acquisitions. They say, figure it out yourself. And it's very much theory-based, generic advice, and you're literally on your own. You're on your own figuring it out every step of the way, and that just leads to mistakes and frustrations and loss of money, loss of capital, more and more, okay? With the ARM5 system, we put you right next to us in the passenger seat, and we turn on the GPS. So we have a map that tells us exactly how to get to our destination together, step by step by step. And we say, follow my lead. And then we have you closing a deal literally within months. I mean, you heard from Dirk, you heard from Jason, okay? 4 months or less, you could own a business. By the end of the year, you can own a business with the ARM5 system, okay? And I'm not teaching this from theory, as you know. I mean, I've personally bought 22 online businesses. I've done over 30 million in online sales since 2022. I've been an entrepreneur in e-commerce since 2013. So you're learning from someone who does this every single day. And you'll see real deals, real numbers. I'm not just going to tell you what to do. I'm going to show you real deal structures, real P&Ls, and real evaluation frameworks from my actual portfolio, okay? And creative financing, literally, it changes everything. The parts that used to require hundreds of thousands in cash are now possible with seller financing or earnouts or other creative deal structures, okay? There's many ways to structure a deal. So this way you could buy a business with little to no money out of your own pocket, okay? I'm gonna say that one more time. I wanna make sure you get this today. There are many ways to structure a deal to buy a business with little to no money out of your own pocket, okay? And this is designed for first-time buyers. Okay, you heard from Dirk, no background buying a business. Okay, same with Jason that you heard from too. Okay, this is designed for people that don't have the background in buying a business or the background in e-commerce, online business even. This is for you if that's you. So not people who already own a portfolio, not people with M&A experience, but people buying their first online business. And why now? So we're in the middle of the greatest wealth transfer in history. I mean, baby boomers right now own millions of businesses, and as they retire, they need to sell. This is creating the largest wave of business transfers that we've ever seen. And there's also 6.8 trillion in the global e-commerce market. Trillion, okay? So there's so much opportunity right now in e-commerce, and you should be participating in this opportunity. And e-commerce is growing year after year, and it's projected to grow year after year by about 8 to 9% every single year over the next 5 years. So this is a massive and growing market with thousands of businesses changing hands every year. And if you were to go to websites like Flippa, Empire Flippers, Website Closers, Quiet Light, Biz Buy Sell, and those are just some, and there's more, but you'll see that there's literally 70,000 plus online businesses listed for sale right now, and also at any given time. And that's just the public market. Private deals, off-market opportunities, they multiply this number. And there is ways to get businesses that are not even listed for sale to open up their minds and start conversations with you about selling their business to you. Okay, so before, you had the traditional path. You could start from scratch. It takes 2 to 3 years to have success. But there's also a 90% startup rate or failure rate for startups. That's what I meant to say. And then it also can take 50,000 to 200,000 to build the business. Typically, you do have to put capital into the business, whether it's inventory, whether it's overhead costs, you name it, to be able to have that initial traction. And then there might not be revenue for months because you're trying to validate the market, you're trying to have the message market fit, you're trying to identify what that is, and then even after that, you may not have profit, and it may take you quite some time to make your money back and start seeing profit too. Okay. Now, with our process, with the ARM5 formula acquisition method process, you buy an existing business that's already successful, has already proven itself, has already found its market, is already profitable, and that's the business that you end up owning and you step into, versus the startup path, which is rigorous, challenging, stressful, frustrating, takes a lot of energy, you name it. Okay. And this allows you to buy a business within 4 months or less. You have proven revenue and proven profit on day one. You can use creative financing with little to no money down, which lowers the risk in the deal. So you're doing a deal that mitigates the risk as much as possible. There is still, risk, but this allows you to mitigate it when you take creative financing terms and you share the risk with the owner of the seller. Okay. And as I mentioned before, this is how you get to cash flow right away. Cash flow immediately. And the window is open right now. The opportunity exists. Creative financing is common. The market is still fragmented, but institutional money is starting to wake up to online business assets. Okay, I saw BlackRock while I was here in New York City. So BlackRock at some point is going to start snatching up a lot of these businesses. But you know what? You're coming under the radar though, so I think you're going to be fine. Okay. But you can't do this alone. Without the right process, the right evaluation framework, the right deal structures, the right transition path, you'll end up buying a lemon, putting in too much risk, or losing your deposit that you worked hard to earn, that you put into the business. And having a proven process plus expert support is the way to go on this, guys. With over 20 acquisitions of experience compressed into a system that anyone can follow, that's what makes right now for you the best time in history to buy your first online business. Now, I didn't invent business buying, obviously. I just systematized it so anyone, regardless of experience or capital, can do it safely and also profitably. Okay, so today I'm sharing my 3 biggest secrets to buying cash flowing online businesses. I'm going to walk you through each one step by step. And if you have questions, put them in the chat right away so you don't forget. And we'll address all questions at the end, okay? All right, let's start with the first. Okay, so let's dive into the evaluation methodology. Okay, so this is secret number 1. You don't need to find the deal. You need to find the deals that are worth buying. And you need to know which deals are worth buying. See, most people are stuck in which deal mode. And they're trying to find that needle in a haystack because they're anxious about it. They're trying to completely eliminate the risk, which is impossible. You can't do that. You can't eliminate the risk. You can mitigate it. You just can't eliminate it. And you're trying to find like the perfect product because you think that you need to have the perfect product to be able to have success with a business, but that's not the case. Okay, you need to find a good business that, again, has been established, has been around for several years. Has a product that has been selling, that has a good history of selling, that is selling consistently or growing, even better, And also, it's their own product. It's not drop shipped. It's their own product. High ticket drop shipping is the only exception, like selling furniture. That's, for example. But that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a smart business on paper. You're looking at it from a business standpoint, not from a passion standpoint, but from a business standpoint. I see a lot of people making that mistake when they're looking at businesses to buy. They're trying to find the passion business, but look, if you just want to accomplish your goals of becoming a business owner, stepping into cash flow, having an additional income, replacing your income, etc., then you want to look at it as a smart business investor, not as someone trying to find a business that serves your passion. Okay, because then what happens is you spend weeks scrolling marketplaces, looking at hundreds of listings, falling in love with ideas instead of numbers. Okay, instead of numbers. And they either buy the wrong business or they never buy at all. And so people think that I need to find the perfect deal. I need to look at hundreds of listings. I need months of research. I need years of M&A experience, as mergers and acquisitions experience. But the truth is that you just need a proven evaluation framework. And with that, the right system, it filters businesses in minutes. And then you follow a due diligence process that's proven and tested, like ours, which follows like a checklist, basically. So this way you can then see which businesses are worth approaching and pursuing. And then the math also in this process, it tells you everything. It tells you if the company's a good business, if it's been profitable, if it has high costs, if it has good margins, if it has good upside. It tells you everything. Okay. And so the ARM5 evaluation framework, it comes down to a few steps here. One, check the seller discretionary earnings. This is similar to net profit, super close to net profit. Is the profit real? Okay. Step two, assess stability. Is the revenue consistent? Like when you look at the last 12 months, is it consistent? Or is it volatile? Is it up and down, up and down? Okay. You want it to be, consistent. You'll see a spike in the holidays. That's normal, but you want it to overall be consistent. You don't want any massive dips, because then it shows you that there's more risk in that business than maybe you want to take on. And we don't recommend taking on a business like that. Also, you want to evaluate sustainability. Will this business exist in 2 years? Is it selling something relevant that has value in 2 years? Like, for example, you don't want to buy a business that sells ultraviolet air filters. That was good in the COVID days, but it's not good now. There's a limited market there. That's what I mean by evaluate sustainability. And then you also want to test scalability. Can you grow it with the 5 profit amplifiers? Okay, so let me go over a basic here, but this might be something that will teach you something. SDE that I just mentioned, seller discretionary earnings. This is the number that matters most. Okay, this is the profitability number, basically. So seller discretionary earnings is the true profit after all owner benefits. So, for example, there's net profit, and then there's the owner income, and then any benefits the owner gets out of the business. Maybe he travels, he uses some of the cash from the business. So he puts that back into the business figures. So this way you see an accurate representation on what you're going to earn as the owner when it comes to the profitability with his benefits put back into the business. That's why it's called seller discretionary earnings. And that is the true profit figure that you're looking at every time that you review a business that you're trying to buy. Okay. But if the owner works 80 hours a week and funds ads on personal credit cards, that's not a business. Okay. It's a job. And the goal here is not to buy a business that you have to step in, you have to do all the work in. The goal is to buy a business that you step into as the owner. Okay. As the owner, you want a business that has staff, a business that has process, not a business that depends way too much on the owner. Okay. Yeah, this is from Dirk that you just heard earlier. I joined the ARM5 Formula program with zero money and learned how to evaluate e-commerce businesses. I've now acquired my first business doing over 1.2 million per year. Okay, you heard from him earlier, so it's a true quote right there. So see how simple that is. No fancy degree required. Just follow the framework, check the numbers, and the math tells you whether to move forward or walk away. And 3 out of 4 deals I passed on using this exact framework. Knowing what to say no to is just as important as knowing what to buy. This framework does both. Okay. So without a system, emotional decisions based on gut feel, overpaying because you don't know the real value, you don't know how to really value a business. You just see the price tag and you're like, oh, that's the price tag for that business. That's not the price tag for that business. Okay. If you do due diligence, you'll find out that most of the time sellers, mark up their business and think their business is worth this, and it's actually really worth this. Okay. Missing hidden liabilities until it's too late. Months of wasted time on dead-end deals. Okay, that's without a system. But with our system, with the ARM5 framework, you have data-driven scoring in under 30 minutes. You know the exact fair market value before you offer. You're not going to pay this. You're going to pay realistic price for the business that you're approaching. Red flags surface automatically in due diligence, and you only spend time on deals that pass the filter. Okay, let's talk about creative financing here. So this is secret number 2. Creative financing, buy with little to no money down with creative terms and a shared risk approach. So most people think you need hundreds of thousands in cash. They assume that business buying is only for the wealthy, only for people that live in the high rises up here in New York City. Okay, and that's not the case. This is for the average person. Okay, this is not for Wall Street types that have millions in the bank. This is for anybody. Okay, and that's the biggest myth in this industry. I grew up thinking this too. I thought that you needed money to buy a business. I thought you needed money to start a business, and that is not the case. See, people think I need $500,000 or more in cash. I need perfect credit and an SBA loan, which no, you do not want an SBA loan. I'll explain why too. Banks are the only option. That's not the case either. I can't afford to buy the business. Nope. Anybody can afford to buy a business. Okay. Anybody. Okay. So the truth is that creative financing, it changes everything. And seller financing aligns incentives with the seller, with the owner, the previous owner of the business. And you want that. You want that shared risk deal. You want them to be invested in your success. And many deals need little to no money down. Okay. So you don't need a lot of capital to buy a business. Most deals out there that you can get need little to no money down. And the business pays for itself. That's the way to structure the deal. And that's the truth. That's the truth that will allow you and anybody that is motivated and driven to go and buy an online business using our system and our process. Okay. And here's why I choose creative financing over SBA loans. I do not recommend SBA loans to anybody that has no experience buying a business. Okay. I think that's one of the dumbest things you can do. Okay. And the reason why is because, for one, speed. Okay. With an SBA loan, it takes 3 to 5 months. You have to keep the owner seller engaged throughout that whole process. And they want to sell. They're motivated to sell. They want to get out of their business for one reason or another. And you got to try to keep them engaged throughout the process. That's a tough thing to do. It's not easy to do. And then on top of that too, the SBA loan process requires them to take steps in the process and complete steps. If they don't complete those steps, then you fail at the SBA loan process because of them, not because of you. Okay. Plus, when you tell a seller owner, I'm going to use an SBA loan, you're basically saying, hey, I'm going to give you a blank check for your business. I'm going to write whatever you ask for to buy your business. And that's not the right approach, because you want to buy a business for little to no money down for the lowest price possible, because you need to be smart about this. You need to buy a business low and then over time build it and then sell it high. That's what you want to do. You don't want to go in and overpay for a business. That's a dumb thing to do. Plus, you've got a personal guarantee. You've got to put money down, usually about 12% of the value of the SBA loan. So I can go on and on, but there's a lot of reasons why I do not recommend an SBA loan unless you're an experienced business acquirer. Okay, not for first-time people though. Definitely not. Okay, and for all those reasons, I do not recommend SBA loans, and I recommend creative financing and only doing a deal with creative financing, because then you have custom terms that work for both parties. They're invested in your success. It's a shared risk deal. There's alignment. The seller stays invested in your success. They get paid as you succeed. That's the way it should be, right? They should be invested in your success. And also on top of that, it's accessible. Anybody can do this. No massive down payments. No personal collateral required as well. Okay, so here's some examples. There's a lot of different creative financing terms out there. Different ways to structure a deal is what I'm talking about. These are just some of the ways, just to teach you something here today. For one, you can use a revenue-based loan. which will cover the down payment against the target company's revenue. Okay. And the way these work is you basically there's a few lenders out there that will do a revenue-based loan on the company that you're talking to, that you're trying to buy. And it's usually about 8 to 15% of the annual revenue. Okay, 8 to 15% of the annual revenue. So now that you know that, and then you go into a deal and you look at the annual revenue over the last 12 months, and you know that you're able to put down 8 to 15%, now you know how you're going to price the down payment and structure the down payment in the overall deal terms that you want to pitch. Okay. And then you could then get the seller to take out this revenue-based loan, which isn't against him or her, it's against the business. They get their goal, they get the down payment, and you get the business, and the business has the loan attached. And again, this is not based on personal credit. This is based on the business that you're buying. Okay. So there's no personal liability attached to this at all. Okay. That's one way. Another way is a deferred down payment. So you can agree to a specific down payment on the business, whatever that down payment number is. Maybe it's $100,000 for $1 million business, or that's just one example. But then you tell the seller, hey, I'd like to do a deferred down payment to get this deal done as soon as possible. This way you get your $100,000 down that you want for your business that we've talked about, but it comes out of the business. How does that sound to you? And then if the seller is motivated and you've proven to the seller that you're a good person to be able to buy the business and take over the business and be successful with the business, and they're really motivated, and you've really talked to that during the sales process, the conversations, then you can get them to say yes to that, for example. Or there's seller financing, which everybody knows what seller financing is, so I don't have to explain that. But basically, it's where it's a seller note. It's a loan against the business that the seller agrees to, and that comes out of the business. Or an even better way versus seller financing is an earnout. An earnout is where the former owner gets paid as the business performs month by month by month. So every month the business has to hit certain metrics for the previous owner seller, to be able to get a payment towards the business purchase. And that's obviously that's a great situation to be in, because they're investing in your future success and they want to get paid. And so they're always going to be accessible, because they want to see you be successful with the business, and also reduce the risk as well. The business has to perform for them to get paid. Okay. So the goal here is to structure a shared risk deal where the business helps fund its own acquisition, so you don't need a lot or any capital to buy it. All right. So here's a quote from Jason that we just heard from earlier. I spent 26 years working in automotive, stuck in the rat race, and barely seeing my family. With the help of the ARM5 team, I was able to buy my first business in about 4 months. Okay, so see how accessible that is? No $1 million bank account required, no lengthy SBA loan process with hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. Just a smart deal structure that works for everyone involved. This is the smart way to buy a business and accomplish your goals. Okay. And again, I paid this much, $0 out of my own pocket on my first creatively financed acquisition. And it was 100% creative financing, paid back entirely from the business's own profits over 2 years. Okay, so traditional buying, let's just recap here. Traditional buying, you need $100,000 to $500,000 in savings or an SBA loan. It's 6 to 12 months of bank paperwork to be able to get this done. Personal guarantees and collateral are required, so you're putting in a lot of risk. Okay, and banks say no to 80% of online businesses. Okay, and online is superior to offline, so you can't even consider online businesses when you go down the lending route with traditional banks. And that's not favorable, because online has less risk, lower overhead, higher upside, better multiples when you go to sell, so you can maximize your ROI from buying a business. So online's the way to go. Okay. So now afterwards, we're talking about creative financing here. We just talked about this with secret number 2. You start with little to no money out of your own pocket. You can close in 30 to 60 days with seller financing and other creative financing structures. Business profits pay the acquisition costs, and it works for any online business model. All right, let's jump into secret number 3. Let's talk about the ownership transition. So secret number 3 is Closing the deal is just the beginning. How to transition into ownership without disrupting the business is massive here, okay? So most people think the work is done once you sign the papers. They celebrate closing day and then they wake up the next morning wondering, what do I do now? And those first 90 days are the most dangerous days, because the first 90 days after a business purchase is when most value is lost by inexperienced business purchasers or people that don't have support and people in their background to help with that transition. And bad transitions, they can destroy good businesses. Now, without a transition plan, key staff will leave in confusion, customers experience disruption, you're scrambling to figure out operations, and revenue drops as chaos increases. Now, with the ARM5 transition system, existing team stays in place with clear roles. Everybody gets met with. They know exactly what they're responsible for. They know what numbers they're responsible for. They know that you're the owner and they report to you as the owner, and they're held accountable to results and their role. Customers notice nothing changes. Business goes as usual, but there's SOPs and reporting on day one. They know that this is a performance-based culture and you're running your company as a performance-driven business, and revenue continues and it grows, okay? So the 3 pillars of a successful transition come down to staffing, keep the existing team, document roles, establish clear communication, reporting, set up weekly dashboards and KPIs, key performance indicators from day one, and know your numbers and make sure they know each of their numbers that they are assigned to, okay? Rhythm, establish the operating rhythm of the business, weekly reviews, monthly goals, quarterly plan, okay? And this is how I transition into a new business, just to show you. So week 1, team meetings. I meet with every employee, I understand roles, I build trust. I get that buy-in. Week 2, SOP documentation. We document any holes in the business if they don't have all their SOPs documented. We make sure that we document every process, every workflow, every system. And there's tools with AI that make this easier than it was 12 plus months ago, okay? Week 3, reporting setup. We install dashboards. We install KPIs, key performance indicators. We know exactly all the numbers of the business from the first few weeks. And we also have financial tracking in place every single day, every single week, every single month that we can look at on a consistent basis to make sure that the business is running effectively, responsibly, and successfully. And then week 4, optimization begins. And that's when we start to really work on growing the business and we apply the 5 profit amplifiers, okay? And this is how you own a portfolio like we've done, not a group of jobs. Systems over talent, reporting over guessing, rhythm over chaos. When you transition correctly, you own an asset, not another job. Okay, so 90 days from closing to fully systematized ownership. On one of my acquisitions, for example, I retained the entire team, documented every process, and grew revenue 25% all within the first 3 months, all within the first quarter of owning that business. And you don't have to quit your day job with this system, okay? Most of my acquisitions, for example, were managed alongside other projects, other businesses. And the transition system, it's designed for busy professionals. So if you have a career, a job that you love, that you want to stay in, you can do this too, okay? So you don't have to worry about buying a business and having to do all the work in the business, okay? That's not this system. This system is designed to help you step into it as an owner, not as an operator, okay? So let me recap. Weeks 1 through 2, shadow the seller, document all systems. Weeks 3 through 4, begin managing with seller still on standby. Weeks 5 through 8, full ownership with automated reporting coming from the staff or coming from other systems like AI, for example. And then week 9 and on, you're the owner working on the business, not in the business, okay? All right. I want to make sure you guys are tracking along. I know we just went over a lot over the last 3 secrets. So let me know in the comments that you're tracking along. Plus, it'll give me a chance to get a sip of water. So just give me a thumbs up, give me an emoji. Or if you have questions even, put them into the chat, because at the end of this presentation, we're going to go through everybody's questions. This way you leave with a lot of value today and a lot of clarity. This way you can take massive action towards your goals today. So let me know in the comments, all right? Comment in the comments. Let me get a sip of water real quick, and then we'll continue. And we're getting close to the end here. All right, thank you, appreciate it. Appreciate all the comments here and everybody chiming in here in the comments. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, David. Thank you, Macy. Awesome. Okay. All right, guys. All right. So each secret is powerful on its own, but together they create a seamless system for finding, financing, and transitioning into a cash flowing online business in 4 months or less even. So let's recap. So 3 secrets that encompass this process: evaluate, finance, transition, optimize, scale. So secret number 1 we went over was the evaluation framework. Know which deals are worth buying. Secret number 2 is creative financing. Buy with little to no money down. And then secret number 3, the ownership transition. Protect your investment from day one. And this is all based on real results, real experience. 22 businesses purchased to date. And we've got more that are about to be purchased literally in the next 30 to 60 days. So this number is going to be climbing. We've done over 30 million in online sales since 2022. We've made the Inc. 5000 twice over the last few years. Okay, so if you got value out of this so far, please let me know here in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. Tell me what your biggest takeaway was so far. Give me a raise the roof, fire emoji, whatever, is your favorite. Let me know in the comments. And also let me know too, do I have permission to share how I can help you? Give me a thumbs up, give me a yes here in the comments. All right. All right. So thank you, Michael. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Marcus. Okay, cool. All right, let's continue, guys. Okay, cool. So you're at a crossroads right now. Now, what if I had a proven system with expert-led support that walks you through every single step, from finding the right deal to closing it and transitioning into ownership? Okay, you have 3 options right now. You can do nothing. You can leave this webinar, forget everything, keep doing what you've been doing, and nothing changes. Keep watching YouTube, keep researching, keep telling yourself you'll buy a business someday. Keep dreaming, okay? Number 2, you could do it yourself. Okay? You could take what you learn and try to figure it out alone. It's honorable, but expect 12 to 18 months. And also, I hate to say it, but I know from my own experience, potentially 6 figures in mistakes. And most people who try alone, they never close a deal. Or number 3, you could join us. You could join our ARM5 acquisition method. You could follow my step-by-step system, use my tools and frameworks, and buy your first online business within 4 months or even less, with expert guidance every step of the way. And as you can imagine, this is the most popular option. Now, here's how it works. I put together a complete system that walks you through every step of finding, evaluating, financing, and closing your first online business acquisition. Let me break it down for you. Okay, so we call this the ARM5 formula acquisition method. And this is the complete system to take you from no experience to owning an already successful, established, cash flowing online business in 4 months or less. And this isn't just another course. This is a high level mentorship and implementation program that covers everything from finding your first deal to closing it and scaling it with expert guidance every step of the way. Okay. So here's what's inside. You get access to our deal analyzer and valuation models. This way you can instantly evaluate businesses with proprietary templates. You can input metrics and see revenue trends, profit margins, and suggested offer ranges. This way you stop overpaying for businesses. Okay, this is worth about $500. You also get access to our due diligence vault. This is pre-built 100+ point checklist to go through to do proper due diligence. Also, financial ratio calculators and traffic analyzers to ensure a comprehensive, holistic evaluation. And this is the system that's protected me literally from bad deals for years now. Okay, this is about a $10,000 value. You also get access to legal contracts and deal templates. These are attorney designed purchase agreements, letter of intents, and negotiation scripts designed to eliminate the legal guesswork and save you money too. This way you don't have to spend $5,000 on a lawyer to draft these from scratch. You can use these, get a lawyer to do a final review approval, which is like maybe $300 max, and then boom, you're ready to go. The value of this is about $5,000. You also get access to our growth and optimization swipe files. These are ready to use marketing assets and also SOPs to boost performance immediately after acquisition. This is the exact strategies I've used to scale businesses, and this is worth millions in potential revenue. Okay, so over $1 million easily, just because of the 13 plus years doing this and the thousands of e-com companies we've helped along the way. Okay, you also get access to weekly coaching calls. These are live Q&A sessions with seasoned acquisition experts. So this is led by me. Also, I include a team member that leads our acquisitions from time to time. And this is where you get real-time guidance on deals, due diligence, and scaling tactics. This way you're never making a decision alone. This is how we help you every step of the way, okay? And you get lifetime access to this, okay? But on a yearly basis, if you were just to pay for this and pay for our time, it's about a $12,000 per year value. You also get access to an exclusive mastermind community. This is where you join a private community of high performers. You share deal opportunities, and you can also leverage partnerships with fellow driven, determined wealth builders just like you, which is priceless to be around people that raise you up and raise your standards. And like I said before, you get access to this over your lifetime. You remain part of the ARM5 family after you've completed your first acquisition, so you can keep coming back and keep doing it again and again if you want. You get access to ongoing community support, any events we do for alumni, and also deal sharing opportunities as well. Okay. And again, this is all based on real experience. I won't go over these figures again. I've already gone over them many, many times, but this is based on real experience over the last 4.5 years on acquisitions. Okay. And let's talk value. See, people usually do this when they're trying to do this on their own. They'll go through a master's in business thinking that they need the MBA first. That takes them about $80,000 to $150,000 to earn an MBA and learn mergers and acquisitions. That's one way, but it really doesn't really teach you everything you need to know. Okay, experience does, and you get our experience by going through our process. Or you can hire a business broker, but the problem with that is the business broker, they care about the deal going through because they make money from the deal. They make money from the value, the volume, the price point of that deal. So they're not really invested in helping you mitigate risk and get the business on creative terms. They want the deal done at the highest price point possible because they make a percent on the deal. So that's about a $30,000 to $50,000 transaction in fees. But then also on top of that, they're not really invested in your true success, which your true success is mitigating the risk, getting the best deal possible. That's the way it should be. Okay. Attorney fees for deal structuring is about $5,000 to $15,000. And also one bad deal due to poor due diligence could cost you $10,000 to $100,000 or more even. Okay. So the total risk without a system is $50,000 to $300,000, maybe even more than that. Okay. And this gives you everything in one place, literally for a fraction of what you'd spend making mistakes on your own. Okay. So here's the total value breakdown. Okay. There's over $1 million in value here that we're talking about to set you on your path to buying your first online business. And I would never charge you this much, even though there's this much value in what I just went over today. Okay. And here's the thing. I'm also not going to throw a price up on screen and ask you to go buy right now. It's not how we work. We want to really work with each person and take a personalized approach with each person. And we're also curating this every single month. We only take about 7 people every single month into this program to work with us because we want to create impact. We're not about pushing volume. We're about pushing quality and helping people every step of the way. And also every person on this call that comes and works with us and considers it, they're in a different situation. They have different capital, different experience, different goals. And so we take a personalized approach. So your next step, it's not a checkout page, it's a conversation. It's a strategy session where myself or one of my staff members, we personally map out a plan for your situation. And I found that the people who get the best results are the ones who start with a clear plan customized to their situation. That's why the next step isn't a checkout page, it's a conversation. Okay. And here's everything that's included here. Okay. Again, over $1 million in value if you decide to work with us. If you see that we align with your goals and we can help you accomplish those goals. And I guarantee you that if you take the step that we can. Okay. So the next step is this. It's simple. We're offering a complimentary online business buying strategy session. This is where you get time with us. It's at least $1,000 in free value. We're not charging you for our time, even though we could if you came to us. But because you're here, because you're watching this, you get a complimentary online business buying strategy session. So all you have to do to take advantage of this, to take this first light step towards your goals, is just click on the link in the comments. I'm going to have a team member put it in the comments here in a minute. And this way you can get on our calendar. You could take advantage of this opportunity. You can get a personalized plan to help you buy an online business by the end of the year as of this time. So this way you can accomplish whatever your goals are, whether your goal is to replace your income, whether your goal is to escape the rat race, whether your goal is to add additional income and to have an additional asset in your portfolio so you can build wealth. Whether you're a retiree or whether you're just a smart person thinking ahead because you want to build a strong nest egg. Whatever the case may be, we can help you do that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and also go over our guarantee here, okay? So we do have a guarantee with our programs. Your investment is protected. Here's how. So we have two different offers, two different ways we can take you here. We have a done with you and we have a done for you. Now the done with you, if you follow the program, attend the Thursday coaching calls, and put the process into action, if you meet us halfway, and if you do not buy within 4 months or less, because the program is designed to have success within 4 months or less, because we've seen that with people that have gone through it. We've seen it with our own processes. So we know that if someone comes into the program, into the done with you, puts the work in, is consistently doing the work, also consistently showing up, getting that feedback, leaning on us throughout the process, that they will have success within 4 months or less. And if you don't, for whatever reason, there's a guarantee in the agreement that we'll continue to work with you until you succeed. That's the done with you tier. Now the done for you, which is very limited, we only have 2 to 3 spots every month. We have a guarantee that we will buy you a business within 4 months or less in the agreement, or your money back. Okay. So we have 2 clear guarantees, 2 ways that your investment is protected. All right. Okay, I'm not done here. You do have some exclusive bonuses, and it's only available when you book your session during this live training. This is to reward people that are massive action takers, because we love action takers. That's who we are too. And we want to work with action takers just like you. We want to help you accomplish your goals. And so if you take action today, you'll get access to this. Number 1, you'll get access to our Business Analyzer AI app. This is an AI tool that scores an offer that you're considering for a target business against its projected cash flow. So you can clearly see whether you should follow through and pitch the offer that you've put together with our help. You get this 100% free. This is bonus number 1. Bonus number 2, you get our AI deal flow system. This is a system that targets the businesses that you're trying to buy in specific niches, for example. And it uses AI to build a database of off-market acquisition targets. There's already tens of thousands of businesses out there for sale on listing websites like Flippa, for example. Okay, so you've got plenty of opportunity already out there. This just bolsters that and gives you additional deal flow, off-market deal flow, and it also markets for you. So it gathers people in a target buy box, it contacts those people, it finds out their contact details, and then it pushes them into cold email campaigns on your behalf. You don't have to do anything, it just does it. And then when people respond, then you take over the conversation from there, and you start having conversations with people, and you approach them about buying your business or buying their business with our process and our templates and our swipe files and our scripts that we give you. Okay, so you get access to all that for bonus number 2. Bonus number 3 is the Tax Navigator by Garrett Gunderson. If you don't know who Garrett Gunderson is, go to Amazon after this, not now, and look up Garrett Gunderson. He's a New York Times bestselling author and a Wall Street Journal bestselling author. He's a good friend of mine, great guy, and he's allowed me to give you the Tax Navigator. It's one of his reports that really helps you save money on taxes, because it's one thing to earn wealth, but it's another thing to keep it. And this helps you keep it. This is a complete guide to legal tax strategies for business owners, which you'll be from this program, which covers entity structuring, deductions, and keeping more of what you earn. Because like I said before, it's not just about buying cash flow and acquiring cash flow and increasing cash flow and acquiring wealth. It's about keeping it, okay? That's a whole nother game. Acquiring cash flow is one thing, but keeping it is another. This will help you do that, okay? And again, massive opportunity. There's 6 million small businesses changing hands as boomers retire. 48% of boomer owners plan to exit within 3 years. And there's 5 trillion or more in private business assets entering the market right now. So this is the right time to take advantage of this. It's the right time to act, okay? And I built this system because I was tired of watching good people lose money on bad deals. Every tool, every template, every framework in ARM5 exists because I needed it myself first. And if all these people that we've gone over today are getting results, isn't it possible that you can too? Of course it is, all right? And here's the big one. If you're one of the first people who book during this training, you'll get access to this Golden Goose bonus, a personal deal review by me. So for the next 5 people who book their session after you join the program, I'll personally review your first target deal with you one-on-one. And you'll get my personalized eyes on your purchase. And this is from someone who's completed 22 plus acquisitions since 2022 and has generated over 30 million in online sales since then as well. This is about a $5,000 value. And again, it's 100% free for taking action towards your goals, okay? So after you are in the program, I'll hop on a call with you, go through your first target purchase line by line. And again, if someone asks me to do this privately, I usually charge thousands for this. But you get it just for being decisive today. So go ahead, take action today. This is your goal. You can accomplish it. You can be well on your way to doing it. You could be doing it by the end of the year by starting today. Click the link in the chat. Book your complimentary online business buying strategy session right now. This way you can take advantage of this opportunity. And I'll stop here. I'll let you guys take action. And I'll go through questions. And I'll stay on for a little bit longer, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And this way you guys can leave this webinar with massive clarity and you can take massive action. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up questions. If you have questions, put them in the comments. Let's go through them one by one. All right. So here we go. First question. Michael, thank you for the question. How much money should I realistically have saved before I start looking for a business to buy? You don't need to have money saved to buy a business. That's what most people think, but you don't. You can, one, work with us with financing. So as long as you have a 620 plus credit score, we likely can get you approved for financing so you can get started with us with no money out of your own pocket. So you don't need money saved. You could, if you have money saved, you can even just save it and use it towards something else even. And then because our process is all about buying a business creatively with little to no money down, you don't need to worry about having money set aside to buy a business. Okay, our process, our system is all about getting a good deal done with a shared risk approach, which is using creative financing structures in place and also getting the down payment as low as possible and then getting the down payment covered by the business itself instead of your own pocket. Now, if you have money, you can definitely invest it in a business. We can help you. And it is smart to get your money to work for you, and private equity buying a business is a great investment to have, but you don't need money set aside, Michael, to be able to buy a business, okay? Great question, so thank you for that. I'll go through the next question here. Sarah says, is it actually possible to buy a profitable business without putting a huge amount of my own money down? Well, I just answered that. But Sarah, thank you for the question. And let me know if you have any additional questions on top of that. But it sounds like your question is very similar to Michael. So just let me know if you have a similar question, okay? All right, next question is from David. If I've never owned a business before, what type of businesses should I be looking at? It's a very broad question, but again, as I told you before, it's not about finding a needle in a haystack. It's not about finding the perfect business. It's about finding a good business as a smart business purchaser. Okay, and so a good business we see as a good business is one that is a few years old at minimum, is profitable over the last 12 months. Has minimum negative net profit months over the last 12 months. Maybe they had a few months where they were negative, but it was because they were buying inventory, stocking up, maybe good reason. Also, no drop shipping. Ideally, selling into the U.S., especially if you're U.S. based. Also, no drop shipping. Now, if it's high ticket drop shipping, that is an exception, like selling furniture, for example. But low ticket drop shipping, we don't recommend because you don't control the customer experience, the fulfillment process, and it could lead to your brand taking hits if there's delays in fulfillment, and you want to control that because that's big. You want to really protect your brand. But generally, those are the requirements to buy a smart business. Okay. So David, thank you for the question. Let me know if you have any additional questions on top of that question. Okay. All right. Jessica says, how do you know whether the seller's financial numbers are actually legitimate? Yeah, that's a great question. So, so after you get a LOI done, so you get an offer that's agreed upon by both sides, and you've done your due diligence, you've gone over the financial statements, the profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, and you pitch an offer, you get an offer agreed upon by both sides. Now you want to go through an additional due diligence process, and we give you that process. And part of that is going through all their bank statements and matching the numbers and making sure that the numbers match. Now, if we're doing the process for you, the done for you, you don't have to worry about this, obviously. But if you're doing it with us and the done with you, we'll work with you during this step to make sure that everything checks out, and we'll go through it together on the coaching call. This way we can make sure that the numbers that they reported are accurate, are legitimate. And then if they're not, we'll write down some questions that we need to then go and ask the seller to get clarity to see if there's a legitimate reason why the numbers don't match. Okay. But that's how we handle it. And that's how we recommend you handle it as well. So thank you, Jessica, for the question. Chris, he says, what are the biggest red flags you look for before buying a business? So red flags for us would be business on the decline, obviously. A business that has not produced a profit in the last 12 months. A business that hasn't had sales in the last few months, 6 months. Maybe their sales have been off and they haven't been marketing. So it's basically a dead business at this point. Those are clear red flags. Okay. There's yellow flags, but those are red flags. Like yellow flags, like flags that, create caution, would be like a business, for example, that hasn't been around for 2+ years. We just don't even consider it because we want to buy a business that's really established, not a business that had some success recently, but hasn't had success over years. Okay. For example, and then drop shipping. We don't recommend drop shipping, as I've mentioned over and over in today's webinar. If it's a high ticket drop shipping, that could be an exception, like furniture, as I've said throughout the webinar today. But drop shipping businesses in general are red flags. We don't recommend buying that type of business. Okay, there's a lot of risk there. Also, we highly recommend buying brands, not Amazon only businesses, unless you get a really good deal on it. But a brand is superior versus an Amazon business because a brand owns its land, it owns its real estate, versus a business that is an Amazon business. It's on Amazon's land. And so Amazon, if they wanted to, they can affect your success. They could even completely just cancel and annihilate your business if they really wanted to. So that's also something else that's a yellow flag, not a red flag. So those are some examples. But Chris, thank you so much for the question. Keep it coming. If you have additional questions, let me know. Amanda says, can I buy a business while keeping my current full-time job? Yes, 100%. Okay. This system, this process is all about buying a business and stepping into it as the owner, not stepping into it as an operator. Okay. So we want to find a business that has a staff, has processes, has marketing that's working, sales that's coming in every single day. That's the type of business that this system leads you to buying. So this way you can continue to work if you want to, and you can have this as an asset that reports to you on a consistent basis. And we also stay on as an advisor afterwards. So this way we can continue to be there for you, be there for the staff, be there for the company. We can continue to help guide the business and turn the business into an even bigger success. So absolutely yes is the answer. Okay. Ryan, he says, how do you figure out whether you're buying an asset or basically buying yourself another job? Well, I think I answered that just now, Ryan, but thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Let me know if you have any additional questions in regards to that. If I didn't answer it with my answer to Amanda, just let me know, and I'm happy to answer any additional questions you have in regards to that. Okay. Lauren, she says, how long does the process normally take from deciding to buy to actually closing? Good question. So once you decide that you have a business you want to buy, and then you create the offer, and then you prep it, put it into a letter of intent template and agreement, and you go to pitch it, and we help you prepare for that. Let's just say you get a yes. It's about 30 days from that point. Okay. So once you have an LOI agreed upon by both sides, it's usually a 30-day clock to close the business. Okay. Great question. Thank you. And then Joe, you got a question here. Did you say how much your program costs? No, I didn't. The first step here is literally just getting a complimentary free strategy session. It's $1,000 value where we create a personalized plan with you to help you buy a business. We did go over the 2 paths you can take, which is done with you or done for you. But we do have financing available. We can finance you with a 620 plus credit score. Or if you have some capital and you have capital projected over the next few months, we can give you a short-term payment plan as well. So we have many different ways we can help you. So this way you can get started with us with no money right away. Okay. So Joe, that shouldn't slow you down from taking action today. If you're driven, if you want this for yourself, book a time, get on our calendar. Let's chat. All right. Okay. Thank you for the question. If you have an additional question, let me know, Joe. And then Marcus says, how does someone who has never bought a business know whether a deal is actually good? Well, this is similar to a question I had earlier from Michael, where he said, how much money should I realistically hear? I'm sorry, never mind, not that question. It was a different question. I had a question earlier about what are some like red flags to look for, basically, and I answered that. Basically you want to avoid those red flags, Marcus, that I went over, and then the yellow flags, that just creates caution and just it should create motivation to really dig in and do some due diligence and ask the hard questions, and we help you do that too. Like, you're not going at this alone. Every step of the way, we're helping you be able to do the due diligence, look at these businesses, give you a second opinion, help you ask the right questions, and help you decide whether it's a good business to pursue or not. So you don't have to go at this alone. All right. So Marcus, thank you for the question. And Joe, no problem. And Macy, do you help people figure out what kind of business they should buy before they start looking? Yep. That's actually the first step in the process, is identifying like your preferences and your buy box. Preferences would be like the niches that you really want to look at, that you like, that have potential, and we talk through that. And then your buy box comes down to credit, resources, like do you have capital set aside? Do you have capital in an investment account? For example, those are your resources that helps us dictate what level of business that you can buy. Okay. So we go over that in the first step after you join our program. Okay. All right, guys. That's all I've got for questions. Anybody else have any other questions before I close out for today? So last chance for questions, put them in the comments, and then we'll wrap up for today. All All right, last chance. Going once. Going twice. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today live. You made a smart decision to be here. Take action right away. If you're watching the replay, thank you for spending some time with me on this replay. Be sure to take action. Take advantage of this opportunity while it's open, while it's available. You're only one step away from being well on your way to buying a business, between the next 3 to 4 months. Anybody can do this. I want to see you do it. So take action right away. Oh, the question came in. Is this program appropriate for someone with low credit score and no capital? And this is from Marcia. Marcia, thank you for the question. Unfortunately, it's not, because you need to have one or the other to really be able to work with us. Now, that doesn't mean, though, that you can't accomplish your goals. I would recommend that you connect with us, shoot us a text, and we'll connect you to a company that we know that does really good work when it comes to repairing credit, and they can help repair your credit. They do good work. They're legitimate. They're veteran owned. And once your credit is at a 620 plus, then we can get you well on your way to buying a business. So, you've got to take that step first, though. So this program isn't for you yet, but in the near future, it could be for you. Okay. So thank you, Marcia, for the question. I appreciate it. Let me know if you have any other questions real quick before I close out today. And anybody else, if you have questions, put them in the comments. All right. Yep, no problem, Marcia. You got it. All right. Okay, guys. Well, it's my pleasure to serve you today. I look forward to seeing you soon. And take action. Get on our calendar. Let's build you out a personalized plan to buy a business as quickly as possible. This way you can accomplish your goals. Anybody can do it. You can do it, okay? All right, guys. You guys all have a great day. I'll talk to you guys soon.